welcome back to the channel. It is the following day, still repping my Jack Daniels jumper because I'm living in this thing right now. I actually bought this jumper from London down in Notting Hill a few years ago. However, I didn't fit into it because I was a bit podgy, so I've lost a bit of weight since then, so I can fit into it, which is great. So an area that kind of pops up quite often with music photography and concept photography is how do you make money from doing this? There are means or ways to do this. I'm going to kind of try and run through some of the areas that have worked for me. Whether they'll work for you, I don't know. It depends on how much you're going to put into it as to how much you will get out of it. It seems to be like a taboo subject and I really don't understand why. Regardless of what it is that you're shooting, so it could be photography for weddings, it could be portrait sessions, it could be concert photography, it could be music photography, it could be portraits, whatever, it is still a service that is chargeable. You wouldn't expect to shoot a wedding for free, you know? You wouldn't expect to shoot press shots for free necessarily. You wouldn't shoot a portrait in a studio for free. The same thing is applied to concert photography and music photography. Now, I've not been working in the industry for like 20-30 years. However, what I do know from experience, having been commissioned by agencies, having been commissioned by publications, record labels, management and artists themselves, is that there's no one way of doing things, and one way of doing it for me might not necessarily work for you. So some of the areas that have worked for me in terms of getting commission projects, I'm going to try and run through those with you today. The first thing I would bear in mind is that we're living in a day and age where social media is absolutely huge. I mean, obviously you've got your publications, so you've got your Rolling Stone magazines, you've got Metal Hammer, you've got these huge music publications which have been here for years, and they do commission photographers, and then you've got obviously social media. So what I want you to bear in mind is social media is very much a marketing platform, and it's a platform that you engage with your followers to, not necessarily everyone, some people use it just to tweet, you know, socially with friends, family, things like that, but a high percentage of users use it to market their work. If you're looking at bands and musicians specifically, they are sharing tweets to engage with their fans, and not just text, but they do attach photos and video to their messages. If you go onto Facebook, just look, it's pretty much driven by imagery and video. Same thing for Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram. We're living in a day and age where visual is absolutely huge. I don't think it's ever been this big. And with that comes a lot of opportunities, and depending on what your mindset is with this. As I say, some of these principles might not work with you, but definitely bear them in mind. Hopefully you'll find them useful. So regarding how to make money from music photography, couple of ways that have worked for me. So record labels and management is basically one avenue. If you want to work with a specific band or artist, or have, you know, if you feel like you're creating work that's going to benefit record label or management that are looking after specific artists, definitely reach out to them and see how you go with that. Pitch yourself and your work, see how you can make that progress. Record labels and management will pay you for live shots as well as press shots too. So it really does depend on your relationship with them. Sometimes it can be quite a slow start. It really depends on your personality and how sort of in the music scene you are and how great you are with contacts and networking. Something that I struggled with, to be honest with you, and I wasn't really that confident from day one. So that's from from experience myself. It took me a while to kind of get out that mind frame of, okay, I'm shooting for free just to get my portfolio, and now I want to start charging. You need to have that transition, and it's a change in your mindset, which you will hopefully kind of come across yourself at some point. So record labels and management. The second bit is agencies. So when you've got agencies, they will work with big brands. So I was commissioned to shoot some content for Jack Daniel's UK for their social media. I've done that twice for them, and it was a really great opportunity because now I have Jack Daniel's under my belt, which is great, and hopefully more work will come from them. But that was done through an agency. So do your research online. The bigger brands do run primarily through agencies. Put the hours in, look into how much information you can find, and get in contact with those people. That they're the people that will commission the project. That was similar for Manchester Pale Ale, which is sort of like an ale brand in the UK, or beer brand, ale. Obviously Manchester Pale Ale. No. And they commissioned a shoot, and again that was for print publication plus online for socials. So yeah, agencies is the other one. The other one is publications, so magazines, for example. Now, when you're looking at sort of like the Big Shots, Rolling Stone magazine, NME magazine, I don't know, whatever you might be interested in, depending on which area you're focusing on, you need to get primarily in contact with the editor of those magazines with your work. You might not even get an email. I mean, it's taken me 2 years to get a response from a magazine that I had a response from recently. Like, I did a commission for them back in 2015, it would have been, and then absolutely nothing. And I sent my work out on numerous occasions and just zilch, nothing. And then the most recent attempt to send out content to them for marketing purposes, I got a response, and they were like, you know, we get 10 to 12 people a day emailing us with their portfolio. We don't necessarily look at them because it's just too much stuff basically on email, but I'm really glad that I opened this email to look at your work, blah blah blah. So once you've got into a conversation with them, it's going to run a lot smoother, but do not give up on the first attempt. A lot of these magazine publications do have their core team that they work very closely with, and it can take time to kind of get to that level, if and when, but do not let that put you off. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're working with bands and artists from day one, you can pitch your services to them. Personally, my mindset is that you get into it however much you put into it. Now, publications, yeah, that's great, but that shouldn't stop you from going out, working with the bands and artists that you believe in, their energy on stage is something that you want to photo. So you don't need permission from a magazine, you don't need a permission from anyone apart from yourself to go and approach these people, to work with them, and pitch yourself as a business. Now, I find that with creatives, because we put so much passion into our work, I feel like initially you are it's ingrained into you that you shouldn't charge for your services and your work because it's just photography. But actually, no, if you look around, even if you're in a photo pit, there's probably at least 1 or 2 people that are getting paid on that night, and you just need to question yourself, how are they making their money? What can I do to be doing this? And it is a skill. It is a skill set, and it takes us hours, days, years, months, whatever, to kind of train ourselves to take a photo. And for people, it's easy to just be like, oh, that's a good photo, and it's like, yeah, but do you know how much time has gone into trying to train yourself to take that one photo? So if you don't put the value on your work, no one else is going to put the value on your work. And I think that's really important and really key, that you kind of have that self-belief in your creative process and your work to turn around and say, do you know what, that's totally fine. And not all clients will pay you, or potential clients, should I say. And then that's up to you. Do you want to work with them for free? Do you want their images to be promoting their band, artist, whatever, for free? If no, let them know. If so, then sure, do it. You call the shots. It's your business. It's your freelance work. You do as you please. Can't speak today. You'll do as you please. And in terms of, I think they're the main areas of record labels, management, the publications and agencies, it really is about doing research. They're the things that have worked for me. You need to be, it's literally 90% of marketing and a small percentage of shooting a lot of the time. It really is about the networking aspect of it and finding the right contact who will hopefully commission you at some point. And sometimes with the bands and artists, depending on if it's an unsigned artist or signed already, you may find that, you know, you end up shooting for them for free for a little while, and then at some point you'll be like, okay, I can't afford to do this. So a lot of people end up just shooting music on the side as a hobby, and that is totally fine. I mean, it's a lot, I hate to say it, but it is a lot easier to access shows these days, and to get photo pit access. And that is, you know, it is what it is. It's the industry that we're in at the minute. And it's, some people are fine with just working for free or just doing it for the fun of it, and that's totally fine. But if you are looking for that progression and trying to make, you know, money from what it is that you love to do, whether that be part-time, full-time, whatever, then you need to pitch yourself as a professional. A lot of creatives suffer from imposter syndrome, which essentially is you basically feel like you shouldn't be getting paid for something that you love to do, which isn't the case. I mean, you know, these big brands, they do have a budget and they will commission you if they see something in your work and you've got that relationship. It really is about finding the right people, the right timing, and obviously making sure that your work is up to scratch, so that they know you've got consistency in your work and they know what they will get by the end of this project. This is 11 minutes long. I hope that this is helpful and useful. The moral of the story is there is money to be made in music and concert photography and press shots. And I hope you at least got something out of this video. If you have got any questions, feel free to drop me a message. I'll try my very best to answer and help in any way that I can. And the only thing I would say is don't give up, and obviously just keep plugging away until you start getting the results that you're after. Feel free to hit subscribe and share the video if you feel that someone's going to benefit from it. I will be sharing more content. If you guys have got any specific topics that you'd like answering, please comment below and let me know, and I will try to do those for you. I will be getting more of a structure on these videos too, because I do want to be sharing a lot more travel content. So I'm thinking at the moment is maybe doing like a travel Tuesday, and then maybe like either a freelance Friday or something along those lines. But as soon as I've got something sort of set, hopefully within the next week, then I will start implementing that on the channel, because I do want some consistency so people know what they'll be getting on each day. I will be back soon, and keep shooting and doing what you love, and I will be back shortly. Bye for now.